Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk a bit about comparing yourself to other people. I feel like no matter who you are, we all compare ourselves to someone at some point, and I'm definitely guilty of this, but it's something that I'm trying to unlearn. This is an open discussion and feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. First thing we should always keep in mind is you are your own person, and you need to recognize that as your own person, you also have your own journey and your own path, and it's unique to you. There's no one that's exactly like you on this earth or even throughout history, nor will there be someone exactly like you in the future. Our journeys are unique to ourselves, and so there's really no point in comparing your journey to someone else's because it's never gonna be the same, right? And you might think that in some ways their journey is better than yours or they have things that you don't, but you're always gonna also have something that they might not have, right? There's that saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. It's like the feeling of FOMO. You always want what you don't have or you can't have. To that, I would say to just recognize how special you are and how special your own journey is, and just try to focus on your own path and your own road. The way that I see it is if you're headed on a route, you are on your own route. Let's say you're looking at a GPS. Why would you go and swerve off of the GPS just because you see someone else taking a different route, but you don't even know where they're going? They have their own destinations. You taking their route might not necessarily even get you to your destination. I really encourage everyone to just take a step back. You have your own destination, and even at that, life isn't about the destination, right? It's really about the journey, and no one else in this world can take that away from you. And that is something that I want to talk about, is how comparing yourself to other people takes away the happiness that you feel about your own life. And what I mean by this is moments that you should feel proud of yourself, you find yourself almost holding back from those feelings of gratitude, those feelings of joy, because you're thinking that someone else in this world is doing more, or they still have more than you, or they're having a bigger moment than you are. And that is something that I recently went through. Some of you might know if you watched my latest video, but I recently graduated from university. It was a really difficult journey for me. I took an extra year and a half because I was put on academic probation and I wasn't allowed to take the full course load at a certain point. So this kind of pushed me back. I went to a good school and I majored in software engineering, but my GPA wasn't as high as some of my peers because I had such a rough first year. I got a good job at a good company, which I'm really grateful for, especially in this economy. I felt really good about myself, and then I didn't at the same time. I couldn't help but start comparing myself to my classmates or my peers, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything that was up to that level of impact. And so I was being kind of hard on myself, okay, well, if I didn't mess this up during school, then, I could have done the same. Or if I had just put in a little bit more work, then maybe things would be different. Or why didn't I do this? Why am I not there? Why am I here? And then it just kind of robbed me of my moment of happiness and my moment of pride, my moment of gratitude towards myself. I'm in such a pivotal stage in my life. I should be so proud no matter what happened along the way. It's okay to recognize that maybe there are some things that you would have done differently. Reflect on those lessons that you've learned and carry them with you in the next step of your life. But don't ruminate in those regrets and kind of cancel out all the positive outcomes by comparing yourself to other people or by being too critical of yourself. It's something that I kind of had to come to terms with, that I'm doing the best that I can, and the best that I can is still something that I should be proud of. Focus on your own journey and not other people's journeys, because during that 5.5 years, I went through a lot. I have all of these events that are going on in my life that are affecting my path and affecting my journey and affecting the outcomes. So if I keep comparing my journey and my path to other people, they might not be going through the same things that I was going through. Like, I'm not saying that other people don't have difficulties or hard moments that they also are going through, but some people might deal with that differently, right? Like, I'm sure there's other students out there that are dealing with anxiety, that are dealing with depression, but they're coping with it in different ways. For me, it was something that I was literally like not able to focus on studying. I took up really like toxic habits to cope with it. Have grace on yourself in those really hard moments, because I feel like in those hard moments, those are the moments that it's really difficult to not be down on yourself and be like, oh, well, how come I'm in such a shit position and other people are not? Those are the moments where you need to show yourself compassion and be like, look, this is what I'm going through. Because if you don't hold compassion for yourself, you're gonna end up hating yourself and you're going to resent yourself in the future. And it's damaging to the relationship with yourself. Fostering that kind of relationship with yourself, it's gonna help you block out that negative self-talk and the comparison to other people. If you don't show compassion to yourself, you are going to become your biggest critic. I think being critical of yourself is something that a lot of us can relate to. Like, I would criticize myself so much. I would be so hard on myself. And this is one of the biggest detriments, I feel like, to my self-esteem and to my view of myself and to my self-worth. And when you become so critical of yourself, you also start seeking validation from other people and seeking validation externally, right? That's a whole conversation on its own. But for now, I really want you guys to like try to be forgiving to yourself, be compassionate to yourself. When you hear that voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, telling you that, oh, you shouldn't be like this, or why can't you be like that, or look what this person is doing and look what you're doing, shut that down immediately and remind yourself of those moments that you are proud of and the moments that you felt so grateful that you were you. And I would suggest journaling this, like write it down somewhere, because I feel like writing things down legitimizes and materializes your thoughts. Once it's like written out physically and you can see it and you can read it over. So write down some things that you're grateful about yourself, moments that you're proud of, and try to do this regularly. Another thing I wanted to talk about is how important perspective is, right? It's funny because I was feeling very down on myself, after I started comparing myself to other people. And then I wrote this very honest post on LinkedIn. I basically was just talking about how I dealt with depression. I didn't graduate with the highest GPA, but nevertheless, there are big achievements for me, and basically just kind of telling all the lessons that I've learned throughout my university experience and my job hunting experience. A lot of people ended up reaching out to me and telling me that they relate, telling me that they really look up to me, telling me that they want my advice to help them get through school and to help them find a job. And so that really put things in perspective for me that, okay, maybe I'm looking at other people and I'm thinking, wow, like, look at what this person's doing. What I'm doing is not worth anything. But the fact that so many people reached out to me reminded me that someone else might be looking at me and thinking, wow, like, that's how I want to be. And we're so focused on our own flaws. It's all about perspective. You can look at someone else on the street and find beauty in them and be like, wow, like, I wish I looked like them. And you might not even know that they might be thinking the exact same thing about you. Make sure that your perspective is keeping an appreciative lens on yourself. On the topic of perspective, I think we should also keep social media in mind. Like, social media casts a lens on a lot of people's lives. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not accurate, but what it does a lot of the times is it shows the best parts of someone's life. Don't always be so quick to compare yourself to what you see on social media. On social media, you're usually getting the best angles, the best moments. Again, like, I might be super down on myself, but someone else might be seeing me on social media and be like, wow, like, they might be thinking of me the same thing that I'm thinking of other people, or thinking of them even. Especially in this day and age, I have to say a lot of people, especially like influencers, are also selling like false dreams. Like I've heard of so many social media influencers that sell those like packages on like how to make money, how to make a like how to create a 7-figure business or whatever, and they're renting a Lambo to put in their ad. So don't compare yourself to people that you see on social media and like, wow, like this guy has like a Lambo and I'm here like doing nothing with my life. You don't even know, maybe he's like renting it out and trying to sell you something, trying to prey on your insecurity about where you are in your life. I think it's one thing to want goals in your life. I think we should all be ambitious and strive to become better people and strive to achieve things in our lives. Like, I think that's what keeps us going. Like, that's a very human urge. But I think that it becomes very unhealthy when you start comparing yourself to other people and becoming insecure about yourself and feeling down on yourself because you're 25 and you're not running a 7-figure business. Like, in this day and age, I feel like we're setting such unrealistic standards for ourselves nowadays because of social media, whether it's how we look or what we've achieved. And I think everyone should just kind of ground themselves and remind themselves that, you know, not everyone needs to look like a supermodel. Not everyone needs to have a 7-figure business to be happy in life, you know? And I think a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, who have gotten rich early on in their lives, the first thing that they say is how fast they realize that it doesn't matter, and how immediately after that they realize that that's not the thing that's gonna bring them happiness. So don't think that once you have all these things that other people have, you're gonna suddenly be happy with yourself, because you're not. That's the catch about comparing yourself to other people, is we convince ourselves that if I achieved this many things, if I made this much money, then I would be happy with myself. The achievements are just nice to haves. But the happiness comes from you, and it comes from you creating meaning out of your life. Whatever that means, that's up to you, and it's unique to you. I'm gonna wrap up this video, but I just want to remind everyone that you are your own person and you have things that are unique about yourself that you should love and that I'm sure other people admire and love about you. Please remind yourself of that. We should be grateful to wake up every day to our lives and have the opportunity to live. I think the more that we focus on our own paths and how we want to foster a life that's most authentic to us, our true selves, that's going to bring us closer to our happiness. And I just wanted to kind of like come on here and talk a bit about that because it's something that I feel like I've been doing a lot recently, and I'm trying to get out of it myself. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting, I've been doing a lot of journaling, and I've been trying to focus on myself, stay off of social media. I'm taking a break from Instagram, even LinkedIn. I'm trying to not scroll too much on LinkedIn and really just focus on like my life and cultivate what I feel like is important in my life, and still working towards my goals, but just without all the negative self-talk and criticism and comparison to others. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new here, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe, leave a like, comment down below, and we'll be putting up more videos soon. I think I'm getting better at the whole consistency thing, the whole talking in front of the camera thing. I don't know, you guys let me know, because this is about like, this is probably like my 7th video now, so yeah, hopefully it's getting better. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.